aspirants, I welcome you all to our NCERT course at Legacy IS Academy. Now, what's the reasoning behind it? Basically, the NCERT is revising all of its textbooks. And presently, we have from 6th to 10th that is revised and also available. So, we bring to you the entire course of NCERT based on the most recent NCERTs, the revised one that they have come up with. So what they are doing is, for example, your 6th standard NCERT has total 14 chapters. Now each chapter belongs to certain different subjects. So here we are starting the ones related to economy, which are chapter 13 and chapter 14 of the Indian economy. Now the NCERTs play a very important role for your UPSC civil services examination. A lot of your questions are directly taken from the NCERTs itself. So anything and everything that is present in the revised NCERTs will be covered over here. So make sure you watch all the videos that we provide, subscribe to the channel so that you get to know every time we come up with the latest video. So let's get started with respect to Indian economy and the NCERT. So we start first with the chapter 13. That is the very first chapter related to Indian economy in your 6th standard social sciences NCERT. Now, what's the name of the chapter? It's the value of work. Now, what NCERT is doing is following a certain kind of a pattern. So here they follow a pattern wherein they tell us first the big questions that they are going to answer throughout the NCERT. So the two big questions for this particular chapter are: what are the different types of activities that people engage in? So they are going to talk about the types of activities. Next, what is their contribution in our everyday life? So everyday life they are talking about. Now guys, this NCERT, which we have of course thoroughly researched first before coming up with this course, also you need to understand it's not just the prelims oriented factual questions that can be asked from this, but it is an amazing fodder for you to write your mains answer as well. The examples given in the NCERT, which belongs to the everyday life, can act as beautiful examples for your mains answer writing, giving you an edge over the other aspirants. So make note of that as well. And here, let's get started with the chapter itself. Now, at the start of every chapter, they are also giving us certain quotes by the famous personalities, by freedom fighters, by our experts, etc. So here the quote from Swami Vivekananda is present. I would advise you to jot down these quotes separately, which can be used in your various answers, essays as well. So let us see what this quote says. It says that, so our Swami Vivekananda has in fact said that when you're doing any work, do not think of anything beyond. That means focus on only one thing. Do it as a worship, like we worship, right? As the highest worship, and devote your whole life to it for the time being. For right this moment, do only this and nothing else. That is how you will get success. Now you can practically implement this in your life as a UPSC aspirant as well. It's going to help you greatly. Not just that, this quote can be used as and when required in your essays and answers as well. So let's get started. Like NCERT has done previously in their previous versions as well, the same thing sort of they have followed, wherein they teach us through the stories, like anecdotes, and the same again you can use in your essays. Anyway, let's start with our story. The story is about not a story but a dialogue which is there between Anu and Kabir. Now these two friends probably were playing in the park when they actually see one of their neighbor. Her name is Geeta, so they call her Geeta auntie. Now what was happening was Geeta auntie was just getting out of a taxi when she's returning from work to her home, and they see her in her uniform. And what's this uniform all about? This is a pilot's uniform of the Indian Air Force, which she's wearing with pride. You should know that we also have female pilots, we have females in military, in basically army as well. Shows the amount of gender equality or the progress that we have made in women empowerment as well. So Kabir talked about her uniform and saying that The uniform that she's wearing is quite similar to the uniform he has seen in his own house. However, the color is different, right? So in fact, Anu is the one who tells her. Now Kabir responds by saying that that uniform on the hanger belongs to his grandfather. So Kabir is now talking about his grandfather and his own uniform, and his grandfather is a retired BSF personnel. BSF is what? Border Security Force. So border security force, you should read a bit more about the border security force as you do further research on NCERT, right? But he also mentions that his grandfather now, he basically is retired and now he spends his time elsewhere. So he talks about where his grandfather is spending time. He says that his grandfather now provides geography classes for free to the neighborhood kids. This is provided for free. Very important to remember. We are going to relate it with respect to certain concepts. At the same time, his grandfather also sort of tends to the vegetables that are growing in the garden, and he also runs certain errands. What are errands? Errands are basically small household works that a person does for their house. So he also runs certain errands as well for the house, is what he says. Now, at the same time, listening to this, Anu also responds and says that her parents run a uniform shop, right, wherein they sell the uniforms and other ready-made garments. Now, what she says is that her appa, her father, actually leaves early in the morning for the shop. As you can see, her dad leaving early for the job, whereas her mother, who is there, she joins her dad after some time. When Anu, and when Anu actually goes to the school, only after that her mother joins her father in the shop. Why? Because her mother would probably be busy prepping them for the school, getting them ready, providing them the the tiffin, etc., so on and so forth. At the same time, her mother is usually back by the time we return home. That means by the time Anu returns back home, her mother is already home. Why? Maybe then to provide them with food, etc. At the same time, her mother also contributes in teaching or basically developing skills with respect to knitting in with or to the women in the community. Now this is a voluntary service. When the service is voluntary, that means you are doing it on your own, and hence there will be no charge. This will also be free. At the same time, Anu asks Kabir if he remembers Anu's elder brother Rohan, which Kabir had met previously, it seems. So she says that he is a software engineer who works in a company that basically manufactures computer applications, right? So he works there. So when he's working, he would be earning some salary over there. But at the same time, on weekends, what he does is he does voluntary job, or volunteers for what? To teach computer skills to those who have joined the youth development program. So there is a nearby college where there is a youth development program. There he basically teaches computer skills to people, to the youth who has joined over there. Now, after Kabir has said something, Anu has responded. That's when Kabir says that wow, it's amazing that everyone around us are doing so many things around us. So many activities are happening around us, is what he says. Now, what's the significance of this conversation? We'll understand that. But before that, there are certain exercises in your NCERT which is really very important even for your UPSC exam, because that will help you get more understanding of the topic, factual correctness of the topic, at the same time give you examples for your mains as well. So here they are asking us to write the names of the character. For example, Geeta, Didi, that we saw actually, right? Then you have Anu's father, then you have Anu's mother who is there, right? You have Kabir's grandfather who is there, correct? And then you have Anu's elder brother who is also there. So you have to write all of them and then write the activities they are engaged in. So Geeta is a pilot in the Indian Air Force. Her father is having a shop wherein he's selling uniforms. Her mother also works on the shop, but at the same time does various household works as well. Uh, if you talk about the grandfather of Kabir, what does he do? He basically now teaches geography free of charge. Then he grows vegetables in the garden. He runs certain errands as well. The elder brother of Anu is basically an engineer, an employee in a company which basically manufactures computer or creates computer applications. Plus, he also voluntarily provides certain other services, helps them to teach others as well. Whereas mother of Anu also does certain voluntary services. So these are the activities that they are doing. This is how you should also do in order to understand. And remember, they have kept this blank because later on they will ask us which of the following are economic activities and which of the following are non-economic activities. So that is what is in store for us going ahead. I hope that is clear. So let us move ahead. So what has happened so far? Anu has talked about the people around her doing certain works, and Kabir has also talked about the same, right? That means they have talked about certain different activities that both of their people around them are doing, and these activities that they have talked about can actually be divided into two groups or two categories. These two categories are number one, the economic activity, and number two, the non-economic activity, right? So what is the economic activities? The economic activities are those that involve money or that are performed in exchange for money or money's worth. Money or money's worth means, see, money means you will directly get the money. Money's worth means instead of getting money, you might get something else which is having the same worth as that number of money. So either you can get 100 rupees or you can get, let's say, 100 rupees worth of food grains, for example, right? That is also possible. So what is the meaning of money's worth? The monetary value that a person places on an object based on the benefit that they derive from it. So either you can get 100 rupees or 100 rupees worth of food grains, 100 rupees worth of, let's say, mangoes, so on and so forth. So what is an economic activity? An activity that involves money or that is performed in exchange of money or money's worth, right, between the parties that are involved. Examples they have given: a business person selling school bags in the market. That is an economic activity because they are charging certain rupees for the school bags. The farmer selling the produce in the market. That is also an economic activity, right? At the same time, the lawyer arguing a case. That is also an economic activity. Then you have, let's say, instead of lawyer you can have a teacher teaching over here. That is also an economic activity, right? So all these things are economic activity because some amount of money or money's worth is charged for doing that. In the same manner, a truck driver transporting grains or anything, any goods from one place to another, the workers employed in a car manufacturing factory, or even I who is teaching you over here is doing an economic activity because I'm being paid for that. That is also an economic activity, right? So what are the new words that we have studied over here? One is market, second is money's worth, third is fees. So what is a market? It's a place where people are going to carry out the economic activities. It is a place that wherein people are going to exchange the goods and services, exchange the goods services with money. So it's a place where exchange of goods and services takes place, right? And what is a fee? Fee is nothing but a payment that you make to someone for purchasing goods or services from them. And what is money? Money is worth. It's the monetary value that a person is giving to a certain commodity. That is money's worth. Hope that's clear. Let's now move ahead. So we have understood the economic activity. Then there is also non-economic activities as well. So what are non-economic activities? See, economic activities are generating economic gain for you. That means money. So non-economic activities will be the ones that do not generate any monetary benefit for you, right? Then what do they provide? They may provide to you satisfaction. They might be done out of gratitude, right? They might be done out of love, care, concern, respect for your elders, for your siblings, for your parents, for your children. So when our parents cook for us, or when we take care of our parents, right, when we take care of them specifically in the their old age, so on, and even without that also, when we take care of them, we are not asking for any payment, we are not getting any payment in return, still we are doing it. Why? Out of love, care, concern, respect, etc. But we don't get paid for that. That is why it is a non-economic activity. So examples also, they have given similar examples: parents cooking food for the family, helping their children with the school work, the youth taking care of their grandparents, the family members helping in the renovation of the house. You know, let's say your tap water, the tap is facing certain issues, it is leaking. You basically get a screwdriver, a pana or something that you call the tools and tackles, and then you repair it, right? That's your own household work that you are doing, so that the tap doesn't leak and everyone else can use the tap efficiently and nicely. That is a non-economic activity, because you did not charge for it, you did it because it is it is concerning your family, and it will give you the gratitude. It is done out of love, care, and respect. I hope that's clear. Here they have given certain examples of economic and non-economic activities. So economic activities, for example, the business person selling school bags, farmers selling vegetables. The same examples in picture format is what they have given. The lawyer arguing the case on your behalf. God forbid that there is a need for you to be having a lawyer to argue any case. That should not happen as such, unless and until, of course, you are probably filing for a PIL, that is public interest litigation, which you would know about in your polity NCERT and in your other subject, polity. Then there is this truck driver providing the transportation services, an employer employed in a car manufacturing industry, so on and so forth. All are economic activities. Now here, these are non-economic activities wherein the parents are making food for themselves, for their children as well, non-economic activity. Then the mother helping their children, helping their daughters in their homework, non-economic activities, right? Then again, you are doing your planting your own garden and keeping the air clean, the garden clean, the parks, the veranda clean, so on and so forth, right? So you taking care of their grandparents also, fair enough. Probably it's an artificial AI generated image, so more than taking care of the grandparents, basically planting the tree and stuff, but fair enough. Giving support to them or being with them itself is taking care of them, because elderly actually face social isolation and stuff, so fair enough, this is also fine. Example could have been better of picture, but this is also fine. Then family members helping in the renovation of the work, so painting your own house, so on and so forth, is all the non-economic activities. Now remember, I told you that this table is one column is left empty. Now let's see what activity they are giving us over here. In the table given on page 185, did you notice that the third column is empty? Yes, we did. They are asking us to label this column economic and non-economic activities. So yes, come on, let's do that quickly. So Geeta as an Indian Air Force pilot it's an economic activity. Father of Anu on the shop, economic activity. Mother of Anu on the shop, economic activity. Household work, non-economic activity. Grandfather of Kabir teaching geography for free is non-economic activity. Let's say growing vegetables in their own backyard is non-economic. Running errands for the house, non-economic. And elder brother of Anu working in a computer application company is economic activity, but doing voluntary service is non-economic activity, right? So you should do that, practice as well, right? Let's move ahead. Now they have given the answers only to this. So in Anu and Kabir's story, basically Geeta auntie, the Air Force pilot, she receives a salary, so in a way she does an economic activity. However, remember, she is also serving the country, right? But at the same time performing an economic activity as well. Anu's brother Rohan works in a software company, is given a salary, so that's an economic activity. But over the weekend he volunteers at the youth development program in a nearby college. So that's a non-economic activity, because He volunteers. Volunteering work is basically does not going to get you paid as such, so non-economic activity, right? So this is a non-economic activity, providing things voluntarily. I hope that's clear. Yes. So let's move ahead and understand the types of economic activities that are there. Right. Now you have a character that is Kavya. Now Kavya was excited to go to her aunt's house in the village known as Kamlapur. Now India has so many villages. There might be a village named as Kamlapur, but generally NCERT uses a hypothetical situation at times. So now on her way, she sees this site wherein what is happening is near her village a highway is being made, and that is creating a construction site which is having a lot of activities going on, wherein large machines such as excavators, bulldozers, etc. are present over there. Now can you identify an excavator and a bulldozer? See, basically this is an excavator over here, this is also an excavator over here, this is probably a bulldozer over here. Anyway, and that's not the activity over here because it's not accurate, the pictures over here. Anyway, so she sees large machines, excavators, bulldozers operated by dedicated technicians. These are the technicians inside who are operating that. Now why was that being done? That was being done to be basically provide the highway, right? This new highway which will be provided, what will it do? It will reduce the travel time from 5 hours, sorry, to 2 hours, right? So which makes Kavya realize that if the number of hours taken is going to be reduced, she can basically visit her aunt more often. So she is quite happy about that, right? Now happy with that thought, she goes to her aunt's place, runs to greet her, and she finds out that her aunt is making some what you can say, let's say tasty or some delicacies, some tasty food, and that is jalebis. It's a confectionery thing, it's a sweet thing. So she's making a delicacy, jalebi, that she's making. So she's all eager to tell her that and eat that, right? Now when they are in the process of having that jalebi, eating it, they meet with Kavya's uncle, that means Kavya's aunt's husband, right? So Kavya's uncle has just returned from home. Now what does he do? He is basically a technician in a construction company, and he basically operates that bulldozer. Remember the bulldozer that Kavya saw? Not necessarily the same, but he is also someone who basically operates the bulldozer, and he receives a monthly salary for the services that he provides, right? So of course, what activity is this, economic or non-economic? Of course it's an economic activity. Now the next day, Kavya's aunt, she woke up to finish her share of the household chores, and she leaves for the job. So the household work she is doing is a non-economic activity, but then she leaves for a job that is going to be the economic activity. Remember this. Now Kavya's aunt, she is employed at the village post office where she will be paid. So this is an economic activity as she is paid a monthly salary. Now in the evening, after her office works is done, she also conducts online classes to help students prepare for school exams. Now for that also she is charging a weekly fees. So basically a tuition she is conducting, she is charging fees for that. So that is entrepreneurship. This is a small sort of a small business which also earns her some money. So this is also an economic activity. Now on the weekend what she does is she visits local mango orchards with her aunt, who the Kavya visits local mango orchards to have some delicious mango. There's no economic activity that is involved over here, right? But when they visit this orchard, they basically saw Sahil. Now who is this Sahil? They have introduced another character. Now Sahil is a farm laborer. That means Sahil will be paid a wage for working on the farm. So he's a farm laborer who uses tractor to till a farm land nearby. He earns a daily wage. So he's a daily wage laborer, gets money for his efforts. That means he does economic activity for which he is paid. Now he gets some payment for his work in cash, some payment in cash, and the remaining part of the payment in the form of mangoes. So remember, money's worth. So money's worth of mangoes he will get for some part of his payment, right? Now this payment, which is not given in the form of money but in some other commodity, is known as payment in kind. So what is wages? Wages is a payment made by the employer to the worker for specific period of time. And what is payment in kind? See, generally you get payment in rupees, let's say Indian rupees. But instead of saying that they will give you 1000 rupees per day, they will say that I will give you 500 rupees per day plus I will give you 3 kgs of mango. So this payment is in monetary value and this payment is in kind. Is that clear? So payment in kind is a non-cash payment that is received for the work that you perform. So Sahil receives part of his payment in monetary values and part of his payment he receives in kind. Is that clear? Shall let's move ahead. Now, the book tells us that we have understood the economic activities are those that have value in terms of money. Economic activities also add value at each stage. That is very important. The raw material, when added value upon, gets converted into the finished goods. So economic activities do add value as well. So value at each stage is added of the process of transforming something into another. For example, mangoes can be let's say converted into juice. You might have seen, especially in the summer season, there will be a juice wala, a juice center. They have the mangoes. This is the raw material. They convert it into juice and serve you in the glass. So that's a service that they are providing. But that service is converting the mangoes into juice. That means they are adding, let me write it here, they are basically adding value. So the economic activity that they are doing, that economic activity is basically adding value over here. I hope that's clear. Right. So that is what they want to explain as a new term, that is value addition. Right. So economic activities add value at each stage of the process of transforming something into another. This is known as, my friends, value addition. So let's take the example of Kavya's father. So now they have introduced, till now Kavya's father was not introduced. Now they have introduced Kavya's father named Rajesh. Now Rajesh is a carpenter. He buys wood worth 600 rupees. He uses his tools, tackles, skills and everything and converts that into a beautiful looking chair worth 1000 rupees. So 600 rupees was the raw material. 400 rupees is the worth of his services, tools, tackles, efforts that he has made, giving a total of 1000 rupees of the finished goods. So that's what they are telling us over here. So how much is the value added? Value added over here is 400 rupees. Right. So the wood costs 600. The remaining amount, the chair cost is 1000. So remaining 400 is what? It is the monetary value of Rajesh's skill, time and effort which was required to make the chair. By doing this, Rajesh basically added value to the wood by turning into a furniture. Now, from buying the wood to selling the chair, these all activities involve payment, as a result of which all of them, guys, are economic activities. I hope that's clear. Now, there's another activity that is given. They have given activity and profession, an example of money related value creation that is involved over here. Right. So they are saying, put a tick against those activities, professions that you think create monetary value. Let's see that. Baker basically converts the dough, let's say flour, into bread, cake, etc. So yes. Tailor, cloth is there, converted into clothes. Yes. Farmer repairing their tractor. When farmer is repairing their own tractor, monetary value is not added as such, but when the farmer is producing something, then it will be added. Doctor, we go to the doctor for the consultation. They give us the consultation chart, this, that and diagnosis. So they provide a service. Parents cooking dinner for their family is not going to give any monetary value, because we don't pay our parents, right? Scientists doing research and all in ISRO, etc. are paid. Yes. Person taking care of sick parents, of course not, because that's not, they don't ask for money from the parents. Our grandparents, out of their own happiness, do provide us with money, and as children, that's the money that we have been cherishing and using for our small sweets, chocolates, this, that. But as such, it's not a monetary value as such. It's not an economic value. That is simply out of their own love, and we take care of them out of our love. That's not a commodity exchange or an exchange of goods and services. Do not get confused over there. Right. Now, over here, what else? They have talked about the importance of non-economic activities. Now, many people may think that the non-economic activities is not adding any value. So why to do it? course, that's very important. Of course, money is important. We have to earn money, survive, live, etc. But the selfless service, the seva, the non-economic activities are also so important. Imagine, a mother's care, a father's care, a mother and father's protection that we have. They don't charge us for that, but that is what, molds us, brings us up, and converts us into an amazing personality that we become, right? They teach us literally everything that we know, and they don't charge anything. But isn't that one of the greatest work that anyone can do? Of course, yes. So that is why seva or selfless service. Right. So seva we see in many places. You have temples offering, free food, helping people out, people who are empty stomach, have not eaten. So the prasad of a temple is not just a prasad, but it is also calories, food, and stuff for the people who are hungry, who are poor. Same thing is done by the gurudwaras, by the mosques, by the churches. There are so many langars that the gurudwaras come up with. Wherever you see that there is this calamity or disaster, people, the religious organizations, the temples, the gurudwaras, the people from the mosques and churches, they will go and they will provide free food to the people, to the hungry, to the needy, and various other things will also be provided. That is really selfless service on which our entire society is established, right? So langars, so that's what they are talking about. Langars or community, the kitchens at the gurudwara serve food to every visitor for free. Every visitor. They are not even asking you any criteria, any, they don't ask you your religion, your caste, your race, your gender, your ethnicity, nothing. You are hungry, come have food, eat. So that is something, the emotional touch that is there, that is a service that is there. Economically it does wonders. It helps reduce inequality, it helps address poverty. Poverty means you're not able to meet your basic needs. Here you are being provided food for free, your basic needs are being met to an extent, right? So that is something which the Indian society also does. It's done the world over, but our Indian society is quite strong with respect to that. We do provide these kind of community services at all our religious places of all the religions that are present in India. Now, for what we have, they are also a way of course, contributing to the society without expecting anything in return. So this is done out of sheer care, concern, love, gratitude towards the society, towards the people, and to return back to the people what we have got. So if we are earning some amount of money or something, it's good. Of course, we pay our taxes. Of course, we give our maids and others to from whom we get the services, but we can give more, and this is the way to give more, right? Let's move ahead. Then the strength of community participation. There is this Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, which will not be possible by the government alone. We all have to join our hands in that. How can we do that? First, stop creating wastages all around us. Stop littering all around us. Put the wastage in the designated dustbin, garbages, all those things we have to do, right? We together, if we do, that's when our society will actually be clean as well. So that's what it talks about. Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, based on collective efforts of all Indian citizens to keep our surroundings clean. Individually, we keep our home clean, our surrounding clean. So if we simply keep our home clean, our surroundings clean, our workplace clean, if we are traveling on the road, keep it clean. Don't throw outside. If we are going somewhere as a tourist, to the seashores, to the Himalayas, to the mountains, to the beaches, to the evergreen forest, anywhere, don't throw your litter over there. Throw it, bring it back with you. If there are no dustbins, throw it at the proper designated places. If you do that, the entire country is automatically clean. I hope that's clear. Together, these efforts lead to clean home, clean neighborhood, society, and our clean India, right? So that is the place to show patriotism, right? Another example of collective community participation they have given is the celebration of the Van Mahotsav, the festival of forest in India. It promotes awareness about the value of the trees, the forest conservation, awareness against deforestation, so on and so forth. This initiative brings together members of the community for tree plantation, and together we all can make a difference, right? So before we move on to the next chapter, what NCERT does is tells us what we learned. So in this chapter, we learned about the economic activity, non-economic activity. We learned about value addition. We also understood how non-economic activities also contribute to the social welfare, personal well-being, and enhance the overall quality of life. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this lecture, right? Make sure you subscribe to Legacy IS Academy. You hit that bell icon so that you're notified every time we bring these lectures to you. So until next time, that's all about it from now. I see you in the next chapter. That is chapter number 14 again of Indian Economy of class 6th new NCERT. Thank you.